I think this has been a bit overdue, but the last time I did a video like this, I was not really misinformed, but heavily lacking in important information. What I'm talking about is I made a speedrunning guide to Twisted Metal Black a few months ago, if not nearly a year ago at this point, and it within the video has some, let's just say, lack of information that is very crucial. Information that has both been found out by just general practicing by me and usual strats employed by Lord Raiden, i.e. the warthog simp that won't stop chucking rocks at everybody and cooking bitches. But I digress. What I'm here to do today is go over the speedrun tactics that I use now and just general what maps I go through or what maps you could be going through if you ever want to actually try to speedrun. Now, I should preface by saying don't expect that, oh, I watched a video by the doll mask guy, I'm going to be dropping sub 30s every round now. No, it's going to take a lot of practice, a lot of effort, and a lot of time. So I do recommend having that in mind, that it's not going to be a quick process. It's still going to be a lot of learning and just general skill that's involved, that it's not going to come over like the course of just a single night. But regardless, I just want to put the information out there for anyone who does want to attempt it and learn. So let's begin with a little diagram of how your runs should be going. Because I do want to use what would be the best run, not what would be a good run, i.e. picking maps that someone would be good at, or offering the ability to choose maps. Like, no, this video is all about what is the best, what is the world record possible, and what is the one you should go for if you're trying for the highest of the highs and the lowest of low times. But without further ado, before I start rambling, let's get this started. Before I go deeper into it, I kind of want to go over the timeline of maps that you want to choose depending on which car you pick. How we want to usually start this is obviously Scrapyard. You don't got a choice, the game just picks it for you. And once you're done with that, you move immediately on to Suburbs. Freeway can be a good map, and if you're good on it, I still highly recommend playing Suburbs because the potential it has. What I'm going for is the best run. So I'm only choosing the best maps, and Suburbs is by far the best second map when it comes to speedrunning. And here is where your car choice matters. If you're a smaller car, you would choose downtown. And if you were one of the bigger vehicles, highway loop is by far your best choice. Then immediately moving over to Minion, because again, you have no choice. Hopefully beating him rather quickly, then immediately moving on to Prison Passage, which heavily requires luck. And if you get past this fucking wall of a level, you will be choosing Snowy Roads. Unless you get some insane godly luck on drive-in movie theater, I would always recommend choosing Snowy Roads just because of the potential. Snowy Roads is just by far better. And with that map completed, you would then go to Skyscrapers, which hopefully you don't have to face with the running away AI that they love to do in this game. And with that horrid map done, you move on to Warhawk, where I will be showing you some delicious cheese to turn this otherwise boring and bullshit boss into one of the easiest in the entire series. So with that, let's get into the first map, Scrapyard, and show you just exactly how I try to do every run I go through. For this run, I'm going to be choosing Roadkill because of his general speed, handling, and just how goddamn busted his special is. So that's who we are going to choose for this very mediocre, in my eyes, run. I think I only end up like 22-17 or 22-40 something. I can't remember how I end, but either way, he is still one of the easiest ones to play in this game overall, whether you're speedrunning or not. How I usually start off Scrapyard is to search for the nearest utility, i.e. reticle, zoomy, and satellite. The more of those you get, the more damage you can do. And as you can see, as I'm about to do to Darkside, it doesn't really take all that much for me to just obliterate her. And this is all on medium, by the way. This isn't hard, this isn't easy. It's on medium, where she has pretty decent health and armor. So just killing her off quickly like that is just really good, because she is one of the tankiest in the game. When it comes to positioning, all I want is utilities. The more I get, the better off I am. And since there are 3 main areas that have utilities, those are the 3 I want to interact with. There is the circle platform that has a utility above it and a utility hanging off the side of it, the building that has one inside of it, as well as a barrel, and the crusher that goes up and down, because it also, again, has a barrel, fire missile, and mega bullets near it. So all of these are very good spots to go to that have a plethora of weapons that can both CC and kill any enemy I want. Primarily what you want to be doing is focusing off enemies one at a time. You can sometimes leave others half or near dead, but preferably killing them off as quickly as possible is best. But make sure that you're always equipped to do so. If you have 2 homing missiles, 1 fire missile, and you're chasing down someone with half HP trying to kill them with basically just your machine guns, there's no point in doing that, when you can just as easily go and grab weapons and kill everybody so much more quicker after you kill the guy that you're trying to kill with half HP. There is always more weapons to be found and collected. Just make sure you don't overdo it, i.e. grab 4 power missiles, 2 barrels, and 16 homing missiles just for 2 people that have half HP. It is not really worth it. Just grab what you need and what you think you're very capable of taking into the next level without wasting too much time. I'll be trying to give a bit of a tip with just general gameplay with every map I do. For Scrapyard, it was the collection of weapons without wasting time, and for Suburbs, I would like to heavily recommend keeping your eyes focused on the mini-map. It will let you know how close an enemy is, who's close to you, and if there's someone that you can easily switch to, either when your target dies, or if you just don't like who you're fighting currently. But as it pertains to actually playing Suburbs, I would highly recommend you mostly just stay in town. There's always a little bit of a route that I try to go to where I pick up as many weapons in one area as I can, i.e. the power missile, mega bullets. I head to the utility, go down, pick up a gas barrel near where the health and buildings are by the environmental stage, go over to the carnival, use the utility weapon I grabbed earlier, then pick up another one in the carnival, because this map has plenty of utilities. It has, I believe, 5 or 6, even 7 in the area. Like, there's a lot of the weapons that you would really want to gather in just like a small area of the town. You can also somewhat explore off to this side area where the little mansions and higher end areas are, because this has 4 gas barrels, a environmental, and a utility. So it truly has everything you need in just this small area and the town. You do not need to go to the insane asylum. You definitely do not need to go to the shopping mall, because those have nothing for you unless you spawn there, which you kind of can't really help. It's just bad luck. The main reason that we go to Suburbs instead of Freeway is because of the environmentals. Hopefully, of course it's not required, but it is very good if you do this. Collecting as many environmentals as you can, say 3, 4, or 5, and taking them all the way to Snowy Roads is the peak optimal situation that we're really trying to go for, because if you save them all the way to Snowy Roads, you can breeze through that map in seconds. Like, it can almost take just barely a minute and a half for that map, if even, just as long as you have enough environmentals and luck. When it comes to opponents, definitely focus who you can instead of who you want. Just because you have Axel, Grim, Spectre beside you doesn't mean you should ignore the Dark Side Manslaughter Outlaw trying to bust in your shit. Because if you have someone constantly trying to knock you around and freeze you, it's going to mess up your aim with your more heavy-hitting weapons. but utilize the areas that have the utilities just right, and you will pretty much get a free kill every utility. If you chose the small cars, leaving you with downtown, there's pretty much only one area that you really should be going to, and that is the side with the elevators. Of course, if you spawn on the bad side, which is the other side that has pretty much nothing but a bunch of turbo, then I would highly recommend you quickly make your way to the other side, collecting what little is on this side and then going over to the other. As you do that, the first thing that you should do is, you don't have to do it the way I do, but you can do it this way because it's a lot easier, at least that I've seen. Of course, you could waste a gas barrel or some other kind of way to do this, but going into the middle river, facing the R&D chemicals, and jumping off the side of the ramp and firing bullets and a missile into the far left ball will result in you getting 6 free power missiles that you can just blast into any opponent. Not to mention the plethora of power missiles and utility that are just littered around this map. It is kind of somewhat difficult to find a target because this map is so large and there's so many buildings in between you and someone else that it doesn't really leave you much option in who you want to fight. But the moment you do find someone that is willing to fight you, you take that opportunity and you run with it. You make sure that everyone who looks your way is dead within seconds. Downtown is generally just a somewhat luck-heavy map. Just get some weak opponents, get as many weapons as you can, and kind of hope that they just run to you. It's not really a good map because of how finicky the AI are and how easily they are to run away. Like, as you saw in the very beginning of this map, I faced against Grim, and I haven't seen him since. And I'm pretty sure you can easily guess he will be the last that I fight. As for the tip I want to give, try to conserve the weapons that you need for good hits, i.e. if you have a half-health Yellow Jacket and a full-health Shadow, and the only weapon you have is a Satellite, do not use it on Yellow Jacket. Only use it on the higher health targets, because a Satellite is just like a Jacobs from Borderlands, as fast as you can pull the trigger. And it does insane damage, so always use the good weapons on the higher health people, and save the fire homing missiles for those who have little to no health. If you chose Highway Loop, I am not really the one to speak on how to play it because I kind of usually suck at it. I do not have it down as well Lord Raiden does, the current world record holder for, I believe, hard and easy mode. And that is the footage that we are watching right now, with permission I should add. The best way to deal with Highway Loop is to go to this little bridge. If you're able to manipulate the AI correctly, you can push them off one by one or just let them fall in themselves. Sometimes the AI don't cooperate, so you gotta try and kill them yourselves, but more often than not, if you get them stuck on you, you can easily just push them off one after the other. If you're a large car like Darkside or Manslaughter, you could just sit near the top, and if you're Darkside, jump. If you're Manslaughter, just sit still, and they will hit you and then just fall in themselves. But if you're a smaller car like Warthog, Outlaw, Junkyard Dog, the best thing that you can do is drive from one side to the other before the other car does. Like, let's say you're on one side and Roadkill's on the other. The moment you see him trying to jump over is when you jump over, so that he will turn around and be facing near the edge. Or if they're behind you, you just go to the top. When they get near you, you drive backwards, so they're near the edge and you can just push them in. Repeat the process a few times and you have what can be one of the quickest maps in the entire game, as long as you have luck on your side. It is a very heavily RNG reliant map, and it can be a pain in the ass trying to get the AI to do what you want, because hell, even here, although Raiden is able to get every single AI into the pit, well, that's the problem, because he gets all but one, leaving Brimstone to be the last one, just on the other side entirely. Which just goes to show that sometimes luck is never going to be on your side. You can try your damnedest, but sometimes the game will just refuse to give you the luck you need, and it's sometimes just not entirely your fault whether or not a run goes bad. When it comes to Minion, there's only a very limited amount of information I can really give on how to deal with him. When it comes to his shield, there's two ways to go about it. If you're a small car, you can just get up right beside him and he'll eventually turn and you can just knock out all of his panels, but sometimes he doesn't really let you do that. He'll just spin around in circles and make it fucking impossible to hit any of his panels, let alone the one you need. If you're a bigger car, you can go into one of the little side pockets there, and eventually he'll run up to you, get kind of confused, and try to quickly escape because he needs his stupid run around you so he can't get hit but still annihilate you with his flamethrower bullshit movement. So with him turning away and running, you can easily hit his back panel, which is 9 times out of 10 the one that's going to be left behind. But if you do manage to eradicate his shield, as you fucking should, the only thing you really need to worry about afterwards is collecting weapons. Weapons, weapons, weapons. Get power missiles, barrels, mega bullets, and at least one utility, hopefully a satellite. Because all it requires is a simple freeze, and you would knock out at least one of your next opponents, which is why we need those weapons. The quicker you knock out the opponents on prison, the faster you get to the next stage. And trust me, you will need a lot of weapons for prison passage. As I mentioned before with prison passage, you basically are only required to kill the first 2 people as quick as you can. Once those 2 are dead, you can get on to the next stage, which is the next 2 set of people that you have to fight. So the only thing that really matters is killing these first 2, which, depending on if you're lucky or not, you can get a very bullshit, impossible, fucking annoying restart the run the moment you see them combo, like Grim, Spectre, Axel, Outlaw, and just anyone that's super annoying. Or you can get super easy characters like Crazy 8, Junkyard Dog, Yellow Jacket, and Brimstone. Just anyone who you can easily see, just tilt over onto their side and blast them. Those are the cars you want. Hopefully you've saved enough weapons to not only deal with the first 2, but also whittle down at least one of the next ones, because it is still also heavily reliant on RNG, on if you get a good set of people or a bad set of people. Just because you get rid of 2 assholes doesn't mean the next will be easier. There are always a fresh set of annoying fucking AI that this game can throw at you. Skipping the long and annoying wait, I will at least show you a little trick that I've learned. It's kind of something just to get the bridge settled a bit easier. If you jump onto either of the platforms with a gas barrel and line yourself up just right, you can fire it, watch it soar over the first little wall of the bridge, detonate it just a little bit after, and it will hit the control box, which will lower the bridge, and you don't really have to go down, or at least you don't have to wait just to have the bridge lowered and get a free bunch of weapons. Unfortunately, Axel's annoying fucking ass decided to take one of the health, so that did put me at a bit of a backset. Thankfully, if you manage to keep your weapons well reserved, you don't really have to leave the ship too much. The only places you really have to go is the bridge and maybe the full heal in case you're very desperate for one. And if the AI decide to run there, which hopefully they don't, they chase you on the bridge and they never leave. Because you can collect weapon after weapon on the bridge or on the ship and never have to leave anything. You could just stay on the ship the entire time, theoretically, and just not have to deal with a single thing. Because this map is all heavily RNG reliant, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, but that's just kind of how it is, unfortunately. As for the tip I would like to give, definitely try and utilize your shields and freeze as well. Because in the beginning, I did fuck up my freeze to where I did freeze Sweet Tooth, readied a satellite, and de-thawed him a bit too early. So my satellite didn't get as much damage as it should have, which I then had to chase and just do a whole bunch of stupid weapon wasting because I'm dumb. So definitely utilize freezes and shields as much as you can. What we need to do on snowy roads in particular is just take the environmentals that we saved from Suburbs, go through the entire map collecting the rest of them, wait for as much as 4 or more AI to gather themselves under the environmental area and just lay waste to them. Unfortunately, I didn't get a good set of people on this side of the map, so I did have to waste a bit of time killing Darkside, but the moment I was able to, I just immediately let every single environmental I had go into the opponents, which thankfully resulted in 2 quick and easy kills because of pretty much just pure luck. Sometimes when the AI are dropping off the edge, if you hit them with a knockup as they're falling off and they have enough speed, they will just soar completely down the fucking bankside and die immediately just because of pretty much bad luck on their part or fortunate timing on yours. And with your environmentals used up, it's pretty much just a quick, clean, concise cleanup for you. Pretty much just playing janitor after watching the kids have their fun playing in the shocky little pad of bullshit that you call your environmental. Something I'm going to be doing a bit live commentary is showing you that you don't really need environmentals to beat Snowy Roads quickly. If by chance you die on the way to Snowy Roads, but whether it be by Minion or Prison Passage, because they are very brutal maps at times, all you need to know is how to press right, left, down. And if you do it in quick succession and spot like right here on the left side. Okay, if you do it on the left side of this sign in this little corner here, a bit back, right, left, down, it'll put a mine, and all we need to do is wait for someone like Mr. Crazy 8 to jump down and die. That's all you need. And if by chance you're tired of waiting down there, you can instead go up here, where you have 1, 2, 3 trees, go to the top, put it near the left tree. Okay, fuck's sake, Spectre, I swear to God. Without her fucking with me, put it up near the top. Right, left, down. We laid a mine. We go back. We wait. They will hit the mine, jump up, and die. So with this little trick, a mine right here to the left of the sign, and a mine right up here towards the top near the tree, any AI on medium or hard difficulty will get a kill. Because Yellow Jacket hits the mine, they're gone. The only one that doesn't work for is Grim, where you have to put the mine like back here. Because he's just so small, which in case we do not have him, so we can put it further back. Eventually, wait for him to come. We don't need a barrel. I have not fired a single weapon and I'm at 5 kills. Then again, my mine has only gotten now 4 of the kills, where Spectre and Sweet Tooth just jumped off. So you realistically can beat Snowy Roads without doing anything but mines. And that is the fun little trick on how. Skyscrapers is unfortunately another very RNG reliant map because it can spawn you in a bad place. The AI could spawn in a bad place. The AI will get stuck. The AI will run. And there's just so many annoying things that can happen on this map alone. So more often than not, this could be a run killer for pretty much just because it wants to be. The areas you really want to stay on here are the circle top area that looks like a mini version of Warhawk's platform, the downed plane, and anywhere near the crane, because if you're a heavy car, you can just knock off any AI that you want to with a freeze and a barrel, or it does have a good set of weapons that you can still use to your advantage because it gives you a lot with how open this area is. Also, fuck that ramp. Also, I didn't even notice Darkside died until watching this back. Huh. I actually did not notice that. Oh, that's my girl. Anyway, even if you're a lighter car, you can still manage to push off others with a freeze, a little bit of nudging, and a ricochet or barrel. And the more cars you push off, the easier this map becomes. Getting to save weapons from Skyscrapers to Warhawk is a big thing, because the more you have, the less likely you are to really fail and lose at fighting Warhawk, because sometimes he likes to be finicky, and sometimes the tankers are the one to ruin it all for you if they decide to just drive off the map for whatever reason they love to do. Skipping forward a bit here, as you can see from my time going from like 115 to like 140 just to get to fucking Spectre, that's one of the negative RNG sides of playing this stupid map. If the AI are on the other side and you have no way of getting to them, good luck. You have to drive all the way around just for the AI to sit still, and very easily die to you and waste so much time for no reason. It is a pain in the ass. Fuck skyscrapers. When it comes to Warhawk, all you really need to do is, please listen carefully. I've said this so many times and people just did not understand or just didn't do it properly. Drive around the map just once. Pick up every weapon that you can while Warhawk is in his invincibility stage and no tankers spawn. But once they do spawn, head to the middle and sit still. You can drive back and forth because Warhawk does have this little sweeping move where he'll pick you up and throw you off. Other than moving back and forth slowly, that's it. Please do not move too much. I see so many people just turn and drive off the platform, drive back onto the platform, drive off the platform, like over and over again, and it's so frustrating because they miss it every single time. They do not get the proper angle and then complain that the strat is shit because they couldn't figure it out. Just sit still, look for his nose, and blow everything you have into the back of it. He will die super quickly, and you do not have to move. Just wait for the tankers to drop down, unleash your missiles, and that's it. And that should be it for the baseline of how a regular speedrun should go in terms of maps, where you go, and how you get through every map. Of course, it's always going to be different because the kind of cars you get, how the AI act, and just sometimes general buggy things that might happen on map to map is always unpredictable. So I would always try to go through a run with a not really clear head, but enough of a thought process of, yeah, sometimes shit just goes wrong and there's nothing I could do about it. It's just how long you're able to keep up that thought process that really can let you just continue on. But I think I should end this video before I start rambling. But first, a big and proper shout out to Lord Raiden, who is the world record holder for, as I mentioned before, easy and hard mode, and by far one of the just better players that I've seen in this game. Like, definitely one of like my fucking utmost rivals when it comes to speedrunning this game. And I'm pretty sure that my medium record that I have for now won't last too long, so I gotta always be on my fucking tippy toes trying to make sure I'm staying a level above him. And it's gonna be a fucking challenge, but either way, big shout out to him. I'll leave a link of both his channel and the video I yoinked the highway loop clip from in the description. Also, I do hope that you check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/thedollmask. It can be a bit of a shit show sometimes, but it is a good way to get comments and questions directly to me that I can, without a doubt, answer and notice, because sometimes I don't check my YouTube too often. Plus, there's always just something fun going on there. Even if I'm not playing a Twisted Metal, there's still always something to watch, and I always try my best to, even if I'm not playing the game, talk about the game, because I do want to get as much information on how to play Twisted Metal Black and just like the kind of things you can do regardless of what I'm doing. So I do hope that you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good rest of your day or night.